Scott, thank you for joining us. Back to league action this weekend as we travel to Colchester. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that game?
Yeah, it's been a good week, obviously. So Tuesday was a really good night for us. Beating Bristol Rovers in the cup match. So positives from that. So yeah, it's been a good week, and we've had a good training week as well. On top of which, with the game as well. So players are really prepared and focused for what's going to be another tough game.
Yeah, obviously on the high of Tuesday night, still fantastic result and performance against Bristol Rovers. Is there some selection headaches perhaps for you this weekend, and potentially rewarding some of the players who played well on Tuesday?
Well, I think that there's always selection headaches when you've got players who have the quality we've got, in the depth that we've got, in the squad. So nothing changes really. We know what these players are capable of. They've played really well in that cup competition all the way through. But I know what I'm going to do for Saturday. We're really focused on that, and really looking forward to the game.
Yeah, and I suppose the benefits of perhaps one of the more local away days, it's crazy to say that Essex is one of our more local ones, is you get more time on the training ground, I suppose.
That's right, yeah. No, we'll train again tomorrow just to brush up on a few finer details of what we want to achieve on Saturday. But no, listen, we know it's going to be a hard game, no matter who you play in this division. They're all tough. We need to be really focused on what we're going to do, which the players seem to be. So looking forward to the game.
You mentioned on Tuesday that Ben Gladwin, the captain, obviously sits down with the players and he's going to have a little chat with them about improving the away form. What is it you think that specifically needs addressing? Because it's not like our performances away from home have been bad. We're not suddenly becoming a bad team overnight. It's just that we haven't necessarily picked up the results that we would have wanted to. Yeah,
I think that's an important factor, and it's a good point you bring up. That I actually don't think there's much wrong. It's just the way it kind of has panned out in terms of the results. Our performances have been really good. At most of them kind of away games, we've performed really well. Probably take out the Swindon game, but apart from that, I think we've performed really well. We've got a win at Grimsby Town. We've got some really vital points at some tough places in Salford, Stockport and Walsall. But we want to definitely improve that, and we're mindful of that. But there's not a lot wrong other than the result, and hopefully we can get that over the line on Saturday.
Yeah, and how important is it having someone like Ben doing those meetings? Because a captain, we all know, can have a massive influence on the pitch. We've seen Ben putting some great performances since he's returned from his injury, but also what people don't see is the stuff they do off the pitch. Yeah,
we've got some good leaders in the dressing room, not just Ben, but we've got Dion Conroy, Liam Kelly, some older players, and even the younger players, like Jay Williams. He's only 22, and you wouldn't think that. He kind of plays like an experienced pro, and the way he kind of handles it himself and the way he trains and everything. So we've got some really good leaders within the dressing room, and they really care as well. The whole group really care. So they know they want to put that right, and hopefully, like I say, we get that right on Saturday.
Yeah, some real leaders, and also some really young players as well who haven't necessarily had lots of appearances in the EFL, so I suppose it's good for them to learn off of these senior pros as well.
Yeah, we're quite inexperienced in terms of league appearances. I think last Tuesday when we played Notts County, they probably had double what we had in terms of league appearances. But that's what we are. We're a young side. We're always learning. We're trying to improve these players, every day on the training ground. And it's really pleasing to see kind of the players that have not played loads of football perform like they did on Tuesday night and win against a really tough League One team in Bristol Rovers. So no, we're doing great, and the boys are really, really focused on Saturday.
Yeah, we've spoken obviously about the benefits of it being a local away day for the training side of it, but also for the fans as well. We should have good numbers up at Colchester, and again, it's just they can have a real impact at these away days, can't they?
Of course, yeah, it's not too far for them, which is good. It's always nice to walk out the tunnel, ready for kick-off and look across and see the supporters. I always go over and show my appreciation, and they always show their appreciation back as well. So, yeah, hopefully we get good numbers and we can get behind the lads as normally they do.
Thanks, Scott.
Hi, Scott. I know you're meticulous in your preparation. What are you expecting from Colchester formation and style-wise?
Not sure in terms of formation. They've played kind of different formations. They've played with the back three quite a lot. They started the game against Doncaster last week in a back four, and then changed kind of midway through the second half. They've sometimes played with 2 forwards, sometimes play with 1. So we're not 100% sure on what they'll come in terms of the formation, but the players are really prepped about playing against every formation. We work a hell of a lot, on how we press, how we defend, how we spaces we can find when we've got the ball against all different formations. So the players will be ready no matter what they bring. So, we know it's going to be a tough game because every game is in League Two.
Yeah, and looking at team selection, it's something that sort of compares with what's happening in the Premier League at the moment, specifically with Arsenal, with the goalkeepers. You've always said you've got 2 number ones. Mikel Arteta is saying a similar thing with David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale. I've heard a few people say that that's actually working negatively for Arsenal because we saw David Raya make a couple of mistakes and they're putting more pressure on them because they're competing so much. I assume you think that's the opposite given what Corey's performance was like the other night.
No, exactly that, and that's what we want. We want both goalkeepers to be fighting for one jersey. Corey was outstanding the other night, and I think Luke has done nothing wrong. I think he's played well as well. And that's what I want. We want standards driven, and that can only happen through competition. If there's competition in every position, the players will want to keep their shirt. So it kind of drives standards. So that's what we want.
Yeah, and Dion Conroy, assume he's recovered well from the other night. I know he only had 25 minutes, I think it was. Is he looking to start this week, and what does he bring to your side as a player?
Well, he's definitely going to be in contention to be within the squad. It may be too soon for him to start. He trained today and trained well. He had no reaction from Tuesday night's game, which was obviously a plus. What does he bring? He brings a calmness for a start. The way we play, we need to have players on the pitch who are calm in possession. He brings that. He organises really well when he plays in that back position, in the back three, and he's a very good defender. So yeah, we've missed him. I think we've missed him. Hopefully we'll see some minutes from him on Saturday.
And Ben Gladwin, going back to him taking control, speaking to the players and that, is he someone that you see in the future sort of replicating what you're doing, becoming a successful manager?
Yeah, I do. I do. He's on his A licence now. He's doing his UEFA A licence now, and he's really enjoying it. He's got the bug. He asks me a lot of questions, and he's really interested in it, and he'll travel far and wide to watch good football. He went to watch Manchester City play on Sunday at Tottenham, and he's a student of the game. I think Ben will be potentially a really good manager one day.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Hi, Scott. The side had a really difficult October. The last month's been brilliant. Do you predict that will continue?
Hope so. Yeah, hope so. We had a tough month, and then it was kind of up and down, and performances were good in large, but results didn't follow. But we have an attitude here that we feel that if we perform right, the results will be a byproduct of that eventually. So we're hopefully seeing the fruits of that now.
Spoke to a few fans. Some of them are starting to dream of the playoffs. Are you there?
We have kind of targets within house, within the dressing room of what we want to achieve this season. I will never publicly say what they are. We've kind of got a way of working, and we're really focused on where we feel we can get to.
When I was speaking to fans earlier, it was at this new exhibition, which is about lots of people's memories, really, of Crawley Town over the years. And, the Man United thing came up, that big game. You're here, you seem very bought into what the plan is here. Do you feel like fans here, players here, will have those memories again?
Yeah, of course. Why not? Why couldn't we? We've got memories already. Certainly since I've been here, I've already got memories. I take us back to the Hartlepool game, even though it was at the wrong end of the table, but it was still a great day for the football club because we needed to win that game, and it was a fantastic day for the football club to beat Hartlepool and almost secure League Two status. Of course, we don't want to be celebrating staying up. We want to be celebrating at the other end of the table and cup games and stuff like that. So why can't we? Must feel good though that you are definitely going in that direction now. Yeah, I think there's definitely been a drive towards success now. We just got to make sure that we maintain the start that we've had, and then see where we are kind of in April.
you had a lot to change when you arrived, by the sounds of things. Do things feel a lot more settled now, and you're able to do your job and your influence be shown?
Yeah, they do, certainly. I think that it was quite apparent that we had to make certain changes, and certain players that probably didn't fit how I wanted to play also. So we made changes to the playing squad, and we feel that we've brought the average age down, brought some youngsters in and some players with not loads of experience, but we felt that we needed to go in that direction and play a different brand of football that everybody can be proud of, the supporters can be proud of, and I think the supporters have really bought into how we're playing and what we're doing.
Scott, thank you.
Thank you.
Nick, thank you for joining us after a brilliant night on Tuesday for the team. We've travelled to Colchester at the weekend. Can I get your thoughts ahead of that game?
Yeah, we can be very confident. Obviously from Tuesday night, beating a League One side, we've got to go in there, give it everything, try and get that win.
Yeah, we've spoken to Scott a lot about the away form and how tricky it might have been for the team, considering that some of the performances away from home have actually been very good, and we've put in some really good shifts, but haven't necessarily come away with as many points as perhaps we deserve. Has that been something that's tricky for the team?
I guess it doesn't look as good as I feel like we have been. Like you said, I think we've been really good, put in the good performances. It's just unfortunate we haven't been able to come away with all 3 points. So it's something that it's been addressed, and we've discussed it as a group of players as well. And we'll look to try and put that right. Yeah,
we spoke to Scott, just a brief while ago, and he was saying that Ben's been doing a lot of work with the lads as well, Ben Glavin, the captain. How important is it to have those senior members of the team, including yourself, because I suppose you've progressed now to one of the more senior members of the team, to sort of have these chats and really address what the issue might be.
Yeah, firstly, I can't speak highly enough of Ben Gladwin. He's a top man. Obviously his quality as a player everyone can see, but from behind the scenes, he's a real top guy and someone who's proper leader, and someone you can always go to. I feel like he's leading us, really well. So people like me, who've played a bit of games now and know the club really well. I'm always here, to help him and all the other boys as well.
Yeah, and I suppose we've got a good group now, haven't we? And the results at home have been fantastic, and we picked up some really impressive results against some, using Tuesday night as an example, against some really impressive teams. And this team can do a lot, can't they? It's not like there's a lot to fix away from home, is there? It's something that eventually will it will start to fall our way.
Like I said, I don't think it's too much of the actual performances. I feel like it's just the results. And the gaffer always says we focus on performances, and the results come. So that's what we've got to do. We've got to keep trying to improve, keep trying to get better, and hopefully the results will follow that.
Yeah, and I suppose Colchester at the weekend is a great opportunity to do that. It's one of the kinder away days for us. A little bit close. We've had some long travel recently, and I'm sure the lads are just relishing the chance to get out there and try and pick up a win.
They are, yeah. I always say though, there's no easy games in this league, so it doesn't matter where they are. Far, close. Top of the league, bottom of the league. They're always so difficult. So we always have to go there and really be at our best.
Yeah, you mentioned that. Obviously, you've picked up a lot of games. We all know that you played your 100th game for us recently, and just talking about that in the league this year, there seems to be some really impressive teams. Everyone seems to have sort of taken it up a notch. Obviously, we know we've had the Notts Counties, who we've already had to play a couple of times, Wrexham, who we've already played. There's a lot of teams fighting for those promotion spots. Over the last few seasons, do you think this is the strongest the league has been, do you think?
I think they've all been strong in different ways. There's definitely been a lot of more money been pumped to try and get those teams up the leagues. So with more money comes better players, and I feel like it's definitely a difficult season. But yeah, they've all been tough in their own way.
Yeah, and obviously Saturday we'll be looking to get a win. How much of an impact can the fans have? We know that you have a special relationship with them, and you've got your chant firmly cemented now, so they can have a massive impact at games like this, can't they?
I mean, they mean, on a personal note, they know how much they mean to me. They mean a lot, and I love every single one of them. And when they really show their commitment when they come to the away games as well as the home, and we always just try our best to send them home happy with a win.
Perfect, thank you.
Brilliant. Nick, somebody's bound to correct me, but I think you're the only player that started every single league game so far this season. What do you put that down to this year? Because before you've had a couple of injuries and you haven't had huge long runs. But what do you put that down to this year?
I mean, to be fair, I feel like I've played the last few seasons. I feel like I've played quite a good amount of games. Obviously, just got a little bit unlucky with injury, but I've really tried to address, my whole body, head to toe. I've worked with Rick quite hard. He's helped me a lot, and I feel like I've put a lot of work in off the pitch as well. We've worked, smart in certain key areas, and like I said, touch wood, I feel I'm very blessed right now to be on that track and have those stats. So I just want to keep it going. Hopefully that's not the kiss of death.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't like talking about it. I just like putting my head down and sort of carrying on, and then when the season finishes, it's nice to sort of look back and reflect. But yeah, touch wood, I can keep that going.
Yeah, and obviously, you played your 100th game recently. Yeah. When you signed, I think it was October 2020 you signed, same day as Max Waters, wasn't it? Did you ever imagine that we all know what football's like, but you'd still be here now playing your 100th game for Crawley?
I don't know. I try not to look too far ahead. I mean, it's a true blessing. And it was quite emotional the other night as well from where I started and, what I was like on the first game to now and how much I've grown as a player. And, I feel like I've really, done my best to really help the club, over the last few years, whether we've been flying or in difficult situations. I feel like I always try and give my best. So yeah, to get 100 games in the EFL is pretty cool.
Yeah, and how would you reference there what you've been like from when you started to where you are now? What would you say the main differences in your game is?
I just think the maturity, and it grows with experience. You pick up on a few things, you learn off people. The game teaches you. It's your best teacher. You look back and reflect on, how can you improve? And I've definitely improved as a player and as a person on and off the pitch. Throughout that period.
Yeah, and how is Scott Lindsey? He came in January. Yeah. How is he helping you as a player as well?
Yeah, he's top. He's obviously. It's obvious to see he's a top manager. The way he's got us playing. He came in when we were in a difficult spot, and we managed to dig ourselves out of it and survived. And now he's really stamping his style, and we're all brought into it. I'm enjoying myself. So yeah, I just want to keep learning, improving under him, and see where we can go.
And you mentioned Ben Gladwin being a great influence in the dressing room. Do the younger players look up to you now? You're the person who's played the most games for Crawley Town currently. Do they look up to you and ask you advice as well?
I'd like to think so. Yeah, I definitely have chats with younger players. Everyone knows that I'm always there for them whenever they need. I'm never going to be the guy who's running around screaming and shouting in the change room, but everyone knows that when it comes that time, I'm always there. They can always turn to me, and hopefully they do look at me like that, and it's definitely something that I enjoy. And
another 100 to go. Do you think at least?
Exactly that. Stay in the present. We stay in the present. Yeah, we're just enjoying the moment that we're in, and like I said, you can look back after, and like I'm doing now on that 100th, and see how far I've come, and be really proud of myself, and big thanks to my friends and family who've supported me through it all. Because football's not easy. Everyone knows that who's in it. It's and to achieve 100 games for a club that I generally love. Gave me my chance, and I love this club to bits. And to play 100 games for them, I'll forever be connected with Crawley. So it's brilliant.
Yeah, and finally from me, you've been through a few managers in a very short amount of time. Is this the most exciting period you've had at Crawley with the style of football that you're playing? I
think so. Yeah. I mean, we've got a great squad. We understand what we want to do, how we want to improve. We've got a system. It's definitely exciting. And like I said, I don't like to talk about it too much. I just like to kind of sort of live it and enjoy it, and see how far we can go, and just keep trying to improve.
Brilliant. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
I know, 100 games. Lots happened here.
Yeah.
It must have been an absolute roller coaster.
It has been. It definitely has been. But it's one that I've enjoyed, throughout it all. That's football, that's life. It is one big roller coaster, and if you can't enjoy it, then there's no point being in it. So it's been great.
Have you managed to stay focused and still manage to perform, week in, week out, get your 100 caps with all that going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been difficult at times. I think, you know, everyone talks about physical fitness, but mental fitness is probably more important. You know, how quickly can you recover from a setback or between each game even. You know, it takes a toll. You have to analyse and reflect, and I think that's what I've kind of learned, you know, over the years of, you know, my recovery's been quicker, you know, as the years gone on, and like I said, hopefully I just can keep going.
Is this the best place it's been in since you've been here?
Yeah, definitely. The club's in a good spot. The fans should be happy. You know, I'm happy. The players are happy. So yeah, it's exciting. We'll see what we can do.
I went to an exhibition earlier that fans have put on the history of Crawley at Crawley Museum. Very, very nice exhibition. Very happy. There's a lot on, you know, that Man United game in the FA Cup famously, and I was asking them, do you think you're going to have those memories again? You know, those big moments.
Yeah.
Is that how you feel? Do you feel like you're going to get those again?
I hope so. I mean, obviously, I had my one with Leeds, you know, on a personal and on a club level, which was amazing. You know, that FA Cup run and that day. You know, stuff that we've had in the league as well over the few years, and yeah, I hope so. We live for those moments, don't we? We work every day as hard as we can to try and you know, reach that high. So yeah, I'd like to think there is more of those.
And you've talked about your connection with the fans. You know, are those memories for them? Are they important to you?
Yeah, massively. I mean, we perform for them. You know, we get paid to entertain and to perform for them, and you know, give it our all. So yeah, as much as it means good to me, I always like to make others feel good as well. I think it sort of brings more joy to myself rather than just, you know, selfishly doing it for me. It's nice to put a smile on other people's faces as well.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.